Hi everyone, I thought I'd just shoot an introduction here to this last video on the Transmill. Just to say that it worked great. We got the job done. If you've been watching the other videos, you've probably seen it's been a 2-year journey to get this thing finished. The big bad news is that that thing was working great, the video camera was not. Overloaded the memory in the camera and I didn't realize it, and it crashed and shut down. So I've got some footage of it, and that's what I'm going to show you now, but not the complete milling process. So sorry about that, but if you're interested in one of these kind of machines, I'm sure I'll be doing more video in the future when we get more projects for it. So in the meantime, enjoy. Well, here we are. This is Grand Isle Marine. We've arrived here to do some machining inside of one of these boats. I'm not even sure which one yet. You can see, I found out we have to carry this thing down into the hold of this particular boat, so I rigged up some handles attached to this thing, because according to the specs it weighs 175 pounds, and we have to go down a short flight of steps and into a small space. So this is the solution. We'll see how it works. I'll shoot some more footage as we get headed in there. Alright, we had to strip the mill down in order to get it through the hole. Here's the hole we're trying to drop through, everybody. And the mill didn't fit, so we've ripped off a few parts and pieces, and we're going to see if this will fit down the hole the mast comes out of now. Alright, there's the hole we had to come through. Got the mill reassembled as far as we're going to. We had to leave the side handle off because there's not enough clearance. We're just going to run that X-axis screw with a wrench. But I think we got a plan in place. She's going to work. We'll be back tomorrow to punch some holes. There she is. This is the boat we're working on. Quite the beast. Alright everybody, we've got the mill setting on the beam now. You can see the boat crew has laid out, these are where the slots have got to get milled. And I'm getting ready, I'm getting the mill positioned and working on getting it squared up to the beam. So really tight in here. I'm going to try and find a spot for this camera where you can watch the progress. This thing uses universal type Y collets is what these are. I don't know of much else that uses them. They're usually in tool holders for larger mills. They aren't the actual, I don't know if you can see that, but anyway, that's what's in there. So yeah, they're normally a tool holder for mounting in something like your Bridgeport or your CNC mill or whatever, but in this application, they're using them as the actual collet right in the end of the spindle. Kind of a slick setup. I'm not going to say it's good or bad. It's just what it is on this. I mean, for the size machine, I think this is a 1/2 horse motor, so you really shouldn't be pushing anything bigger than a 1/2 inch tool with this little critter anyhow. So I want to set up to start with a drill bit, because I want to drill starting holes. I don't have center cutting end mills, and I really don't love center cutting end mills and just plunging through anyways unless I have to. So seeing as it's not a requirement here, I'm going to start off with drilling a hole and then switching to plunging through the mill. So I've got a 3/8 tool here is what I'm sticking in the mill, and then that'll give me a good pilot hole for a 1/2 inch end mill to go singing right through there without being in trouble. I'm just putting the tool in it right now because I want to have some point of reference to decide when I'm centered up here. I have more than adequate travel to reach everything that way. Now you real machinists out there, don't mock me, but this is what I'm going to do to square up on this particular beam. My little light here to where it actually does everybody watching some good. I'm just going to set this up off the edge of the beam as kind of a depth stop, so to speak. Up against the bottom of this magnet is machined square to the mill. And I realize this isn't super precision, but this layout is not super precision. We're just milling to the lines. And in this application, the slots that we're milling are actually just holes to allow wiring to come through. And the real point here is it's so that wiring is hidden inside the mast. This boat is getting outfitted with some carbon fiber mast, and I want to run the wiring up the inside. If you have some time and you want to do some Googling on your own, this is the White Hawk. Is what this boat is. And there's a lot of stuff on the internet about it. It's quite a historic boat. So if you just Google White Hawk sailboat, you're almost guaranteed to come up with enough information to keep you reading for an hour. Alright, what I'm going to do is check it from the other side once. One of the issues I'm running into here right now is the beam itself is very corroded, so, or at least it was in the past. And so the edges of it are eroded away, and then it's been repainted, so it doesn't look that bad now, but anyway, so it makes it difficult to get a nice square, precise edge to determine anything off from, frankly, so. Okay, well, I think we're ready to spin the camera. Alright, so now we're ready to connect the magnet and turn it on now. I think I've got it pretty well positioned. One of the modifications I intend to make to this thing after the experience of dismantling it, getting it through the hole, is I've realized there's no good reason for this to be attached to the machine. So I actually intend to put plugs in this cord. This one already completely comes off. The cord that goes to the motor, I intend to cut it, put a longer cord on with a male-female twist lock on it so that I can just remove this and leave it off to the side. It's really not an awesome position for using anyway, so that's one of the many mods that I would like to make to this thing. Alright, so magnet is on. I can hear it humming, by the way. Alright, now bring the quill up. Ready to side shift this thing over now to where I'm going to make my initial plunge cut through the beam. We're going to start with the slot furthest away from us here. Basically, I'm just going to pick a spot that's out in the middle of the area that we're going to machine in to plunge through, and then we'll start working our way out to the lines from there. So we'll see that looking. Actually, I might come back a little bit. I don't want to be too close to any one of my lines. Make sure that we get space to work our way around to them. Yeah, that's looking pretty good, everybody. So, with that set there, we're going to go ahead and I'm going to lock both axes for now, so I don't have to worry about it walking around or moving around when I'm attempting to drill and then mill. And I won't turn these loose until after I've got my holes, both this one and the end mill, dropped through there. Alright everybody, I think that's kind of the ending point for the moment. I got to get a man on vacuum duty now before we actually try dropping through there. So, I'll bring the camera back online once we're set up to actually do some machining now. Alright, I thought I'd just kind of give you a walk around so you can see the job site. Obviously got everything plasticed off. It just cannot risk any metal shavings, anything getting loose in here. As a matter of fact, this machine, I don't remember if I showed that part, but I, before it ever even came on board the boat, took brake parts cleaner and stripped every drop of lubrication off this machine. We're running it bone dry on the ways. I realize that's not ideal from a machine standpoint, but this boat cannot have oil drips or anything, so we really cleaned it up. But thought I'd give you a walkthrough out the, show you. So we originally were going to try and come in through this access hatch, but the problem is, you can see this is all really nice woodwork and varnish, and we just didn't want to risk it. Whereas this hole, you know, this is where the mast sits. This isn't something you see, so if something accidentally got scratched on the way in on the inside here, it was a lot less of a big deal than coming through this hatch. So anyway, that's what we ended up doing. But alright, I'm going to give you a walk through a minute, just show you. But we're working in what is the master suite, I guess, on this boat. I'm not sure what the official boating term for it is. It's got a little side room. Another side room over this way. And then this is kind of the lounge area, which is quite impressive. I mean, I can't tell you the last time I saw a boat had a fireplace, because that'd be never. I guess I can tell you, never. Anyway. Gorgeous woodwork, fabulous, fabulous piece of equipment. But this is the way that we were originally going to try and bring the mill in, was down this flight of steps, and then you can see it'd be down this hallway, and what defeated us was this funny little dog leg. I mean, I was not loving coming down those steps, but then it gets really narrow here in dog legs, and it just did not seem safe to do, and that's why we resorted to dismantling the mill and coming in through the hole above. So. Alright, that'll work. Well, let's see what happens. Tools. And then, yeah, that's basically where I wanted to do. Let's see. Yep, we're just inboard of the. Damn, I could have been a little further that way, but it's fine. We're not into the web. We're just touching the edge of the radius, but. these. Such awkward doggone angle. Okay, now we gotta switch to the other size collet. I was talking to a guy at my uncle's shop last night, and he tells me they've got some kind of a portable mill at Tower Marine.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was telling about this project. He's like, yeah, they've got some kind of mill like that. I was asking him about it. I don't know what brand it is, because there aren't very many of these kind of machines around. I'm quite curious what brand the one they've got. Up till now, I had never heard of another one in existence. Alright. So, I gotta think about this. What I want to do is plunge through, then we'll pull back up. Right now I've got the X and Y locked on this because I don't want it to try and shift around while we're drilling. So I'll plunge through, then I'm going to pull back up, and then once I pull up, I'll unlock it, and then we're going to start milling our way around a little. Cool. Let me give it a little spritz of the old WD-40 here now. Alright. Here goes.
And away we go.
To be, so we're good to start wandering around in a rectangle in there. I think what I might do, still debating, I'm not sure if we're going to be able to take full depth of cut or if I'm going to need to cut around and, you know, take it down a bit at a time. I'm not entirely sure.
Oh, gotcha.
It's nicest if you can just take it all in one big place. Away from the web. Now that I've got a better feel for where I'm at, just in case we're not true to it, I don't want to mill my way into it. You know, like for some screwy reason I messed up and I'm not quite square to the beam. I'd rather be out away from it because we can see from the line whether we're following the line, but I can't see the web. So I want to get away from it a little more, mill it down so we can go in there and see, okay, are we truly parallel with the web and the beam?
Copy that.
Let's have another go. So, WD-40. Should have brought down a hammer this